How do you know if you're good enough to become a professional musician? I was in a band with a guy who was a phenomenal guitarist. He was one of those people who could just pick up any instrument and play it. He was also a great singer. However, he was not a good songwriter. He wrote songs that were just okay, but nothing special. He was also not a good performer. He would get nervous on stage and would often make mistakes. He was also not a good businessman. He didn't know how to promote himself or his music. He was a great musician, but he didn't have the other skills necessary to be a successful musician. He eventually gave up on music and went to work in a factory. He was happy with his life, but I always felt like he could have been a successful musician if he had just had the right skills. I also knew a guy who was not a great musician. He was a decent guitarist and singer, but he was not as good as the other guy. However, he was a great songwriter. He wrote songs that were catchy and memorable. He was also a great performer. He was confident on stage and always put on a great show. He was also a great businessman. He knew how to promote himself and his music. He was not as good of a musician as the other guy, but he had the other skills necessary to be a successful musician. He eventually became a successful musician and had a few hit songs.